your dad, the coach, doesn't have the ability to ban media from covering the team because they said something negative, which happened. Obviously, I think Shedeur knows everybody has to do their job. Once there's actually stuff to report on, when there's obviously going to be the talking to the players and the coaches and, you know, setting your best foot forward for the new season. We're still trying to figure out Todd Monken as a head coach with this new staff. I don't think there's anything to be negative about on day one and 8.
Daddy can't save you from us. That is basically the energy Cleveland media sent back after Shedeur Sanders asked them to bring a new vibe. And honestly, this whole thing turned from a simple press conference quote into a full Cleveland culture war real fast. Because Shedeur did not walk in angry. He did not throw a tantrum. He did not sit there and say the media should never criticize him. What he said was simple. The building has a new vibe, a new energy, and the only thing missing is y'all. He looked at the media and basically said, if you want us to win, then bring some winning energy too. But Cleveland heard that and immediately reminded him this is not Colorado. This is not Coach Prime's setup. And nobody's dad is banning reporters over here.
What did I do? You didn't do anything. It's not about that. This is football.
Why? I'm asking you why.
Yeah, you can answer that. It's
okay,
not
answer me. Because you want me to answer you. So
yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fair.
Why?
And that is where the tension really starts, because Shedeur's words came from a positive place, at least on the surface. He talked about the coaches embracing players as people, pushing them in the meeting room, on the field, and in the weight room. He said it feels like a new energy inside the building. Then he turned it toward the media and said they need to match that energy. He said, I know y'all want us to win, so there cannot be too much negativity going on. Now, if you know Shedeur, that is not surprising. He talks in terms of energy, belief, mindset, and community. But Cleveland media does not move like a motivational locker room speech. Cleveland media moves like a group that has watched decades of disappointment and is not giving anybody the benefit of the doubt for free. Here's the part nobody is talking about. Shedeur was not asking the media to lie. He was not asking them to pretend the Browns have been perfect. He was not asking them to act like the team has earned praise it has not earned. He was asking for the energy around the team to not be automatically negative before the new chapter even gets a chance. And that is a real point, because when a young quarterback walks into a building already trying to prove himself, already carrying the weight of a shocking draft fall, already dealing with the Sanders name, the last thing he wants is for the local media to treat him like he inherited every failure that came before him.
I can turn it around. I mean, he's very high on himself.
But from the Cleveland side, their response is also not hard to understand. They are basically saying, welcome to the league, welcome to Cleveland, and welcome to a place where positivity is earned. This is not a college program where the coach can control the room, protect the brand, or shut out a reporter he does not like. Deion Sanders may have had the power to push back hard in Colorado when he felt someone cross the line. But in Cleveland, Shedeur is standing in a different world. The media has its own job, its own history, and its own attitude. They are not there to be cheerleaders. They are going to ask questions, they are going to challenge players, and they are going to react to what they see. This is where it gets dangerous, because both sides are right enough to make the argument messy. The media is right that winning solves the negativity. If Shedeur wins in Cleveland, nobody is going to sit around complaining about his vibe. They will celebrate him, they will hype him up, they will turn him into one of the biggest stories in the NFL. Cleveland will throw a parade for a quarterback who actually changes the franchise. But Shedeur is also right that he did not create the negativity. He did not create the 20+ years of frustration. He did not draft all the failed quarterbacks. He did not make all the bad front office decisions. So why should he have to walk into the room and absorb all that old energy before he even gets his real chance?
You should know history repeats itself over and over and over. And I've done it over and over and over, so it should be no question why NFL franchise.
That is the heart of this whole story. Shedeur wants a fresh start, but Cleveland media is reacting from old scars. He is saying, this is a new vibe. They are saying, we have heard new vibes before. He is saying, bring winning energy. They are saying, win first. He is saying, stop carrying so much negativity into the building. They are saying, this city has earned the right to be skeptical. And that clash is exactly why this quote took off. It's not just about one quarterback and one media room. It's about whether Cleveland is even capable of embracing hope without immediately protecting itself from disappointment.
I don't want that guy. I don't want this kind of person in our entitled person.
Here's the part nobody is talking about. The draft fall changed everything about how Shedeur was treated. If he had gone in the first round, like many people once expected, the energy would be completely different. The same confidence would be called leadership. The same quotes would be called refreshing. The same belief would be framed as franchise quarterback swagger. But because he fell, people started treating his confidence like entitlement. They started acting like he had to earn the right to even sound excited. That's a huge shift. Draft position should not completely rewrite a player's personality. But with Shedeur, Shedeur. It did in the eyes of a lot of people. That's why the "daddy can't save you" response feels so loaded, because it's not only about the media, it's about people trying to remind Shedeur that this is no longer the world where Deion can control the environment. And yes, that is true. Coach Prime cannot protect him from NFL criticism, but at the same time, Shedeur is not hiding behind Coach Prime. He was the one standing there. He was the one talking. He was the one calmly telling the media that the vibe needed to change. Whether you agree with him or not, that is him using his own voice. So turning it into "your dad can't save you" almost avoids the actual point he was making.
But Shedeur had spoken yesterday, and he spoke about vibes.
This is where young players usually make a mistake. They think the media will match their optimism because the locker room feels different. It does not work like that. The locker room can feel brand new, the coaches can be excited, the players can be energized, and the media can still be sitting there saying, "Prove it." That is the NFL. Nobody cares how fresh the vibe feels in April if it falls apart in October. Shedeur has to understand that part, but the media also has to understand that cynicism is not the same thing as objectivity. Being negative before anything happens is not automatically honest. Sometimes it is just habit, and Cleveland has a habit of expecting the worst because honestly, the worst has showed up a lot. That is why players coming from winning programs can feel shell-shocked when they first get there. If you came from a place like Colorado during the Coach Prime energy wave, or from a big college program where the whole atmosphere is built on belief, Cleveland can feel like a completely different planet. There is history in every question. There is frustration behind every doubt, and for a player who is new to it, that can feel personal, even when the media thinks it is just normal coverage. Shedeur did not ask for the old Browns baggage, but he walked right into it. Every quarterback in Cleveland does. That is the reality. The city wants to believe, but it also does not want to get fooled again. That creates a strange energy where fans are excited and guarded at the same time. They want a savior, but they also attack the idea of needing a savior. They want a franchise quarterback, but they're scared to buy in too early. And Shedeur, because of his name and his confidence, becomes the perfect lightning rod for all of that. Here's the part nobody is talking about. Shedeur's request for positivity was also a request for alignment. He was not just saying, "Be nice to me." He was saying, if the team, the city, the fans, and the media all want winning, then the energy around the team should not constantly be poisoned. That does not mean ignore problems. It means do not turn everything into a problem before the team even gets a chance to build. There is a difference between accountability and negativity. Shedeur is basically asking the media to recognize that difference. But the Cleveland media response made it clear they are not going to be managed by a young quarterback. They are not going to be told how to cover the team. They heard new vibe and immediately said, okay, but this is the same city, same history, same job. And that is why this could become an ongoing storyline, because Shedeur is not the type to quietly accept a negative frame. He's going to challenge it. He's going to talk back. He is going to say what he feels. And media members who are used to controlling the tone may not love that. This is where it gets dangerous for Shedeur too, because once you challenge the media, every word gets watched closer. Every practice rep gets bigger. Every bad throw becomes a talking point. Every quote gets clipped. If he struggles, they will bring this moment back and say, remember when he wanted winning energy before winning games? That is the risk. When you speak boldly, you give people material, and Shedeur has to know that. If he's going to demand a new vibe, he has to back it up with the kind of play that makes the old negativity look foolish. At the same time, if he does back it up, the media will look completely different in hindsight. If Shedeur wins, this quote becomes leadership. If he changes the Browns' offense, this moment becomes the first sign that he was trying to shift the culture. If he becomes the guy, people will replay this and say he saw the energy problem before everyone else admitted it. That is the funny thing about sports narratives. The exact same quote can look arrogant if you lose and prophetic if you win. The results decide how people remember the words, and that is why the draft fall still hangs over everything. Shedeur was not treated like a normal young quarterback from the beginning. He was treated like a debate. Some people wanted him to succeed because they felt the league did him wrong. Others wanted him to fail because they thought the hype was too much. And when a player starts from that kind of polarized place, even a simple comment about positivity turns into a national argument. That is what we're seeing now. The media panel made one fair point though. If Shedeur wins in Cleveland, the negativity will disappear fast. Cleveland is not a city that refuses to love winners. It's the opposite. Cleveland is starving for a quarterback it can truly believe in. If he gives them that, the same people warning him now will be the ones telling stories about how he changed everything. The same fans who are cautious now will be wearing his jersey everywhere. The same media that says prove it will have no choice but to cover the proof. But until then, Shedeur is going to have to live in that uncomfortable middle ground. He has to keep his positive energy without sounding like he's demanding applause. He has to embrace Cleveland without letting Cleveland's past drown him. He has to push back on negativity without making every question feel like a fight. That is not easy. That is part of the job now. Here's the part nobody is talking about. This might actually be the exact test Shedeur needs. Quarterbacks are not just tested by pass rushers and coverages. They are tested by environments. They are tested by pressure. They are tested by whether they can keep their identity in a place that is trying to prove it every day. If Shedeur can stay steady, stay positive, and still handle the criticism. That says something about his leadership. It says he is not just trying to change the offense, he's trying to change the mood around the franchise. And maybe that's why the media pushed back so quickly, because changing a mood is harder than changing a playbook. Cleveland's negativity did not come from nowhere. It came from years of losing, disappointment, and false hope. Shedeur is asking people to let some of that go before the results fully arrive. That's a big ask, but it's also what culture change always sounds like at first. Awkward, uncomfortable, a little too early, a little too bold, and maybe exactly what the room needs. So now the debate is simple. Was Shedeur Sanders right to call out the Cleveland media and ask for winning energy around a team trying to build something new? Or was the media right to remind him that this is not Colorado? Coach Prime cannot shield him, and positivity in Cleveland has to be earned through wins. Because of Shedeur's struggles, this quote will follow him. But if he wins, this moment becomes he challenged the city to stop expecting failure and start acting like a real turnaround was possible. And that is what makes this so interesting. Cleveland says, "Daddy cannot save you from us." Shedeur's answer has to be even stronger. Winning can.